Hello, welcome to this online session where we are discussing different types of special purpose diodes. In previous session on the topic, we had elaborate discussion on Zener diode, which finds application in number of circuits. Today we would try to discuss one more category of special purpose diodes, which we call as optoelectronic device. Let me share my presentation with you. In this presentation, we would try to study different types of optoelectronic devices, namely LEDs, different types of displays based on LEDs, photodiode, phototransistor, optocoupler, and solar cell. Let me introduce what we mean by optoelectronic devices. As the name indicates, optoelectronics basically refers a technology that is combination of optics and electronics. Optics in general sense we understand as light, though the meaning can be a little wider than that, but in general sense we understand optics as light. In context to optoelectronics, we many a times come across a word which we call as photons. What are photons? Photons are basically particles of light that represents the discrete bundle of energy present in light, or we understand that light is basically a form of electromagnetic signal. So it basically represents the bundle of electromagnetic energy. In context to this, if we try to categorize different types of optoelectronic devices, then they can be categorized as photoemissive devices, photoconductive devices, and photovoltaic devices. When I say photoemissive devices, these are the devices which emits photons, which gives out photons, maybe which gives out light. When we say photoconductive devices, then these are those devices which changes its conductivity, that is its resistance, based on the light or photons. And in the third category, which is photovoltaic devices, these are the devices which basically generates electric quantities like voltage and current from light. Few devices included in category which we would try to discuss are light emitting diode LEDs, 7 segment LED display, 16 segment LED display, dot matrix LED displays. These are different types of displays based on LEDs. Then we would discuss photodiodes, phototransistor, optocoupler, and solar cell. These devices either fall in the category of light emitting devices, or they are light operated devices, or the devices that modify light into some another. Let us try to discuss each one of these in detail. Let us start with light emitting diodes, which we popularly know as LEDs. Light emitting diodes are basically a PN junction diode that gives out light when forward biased. If we try to see the schematic symbol of LED, then the symbol is similar to diode with two arrows shown going out, which basically means or which basically represents the light coming out of the diode. So they are basically light emitting diodes. To emit means to give out. Physically, the diode looks something like this, though the color of the diode changes depending upon its type and what color diode it is, or what color LED it is. But physically, in general, it looks like this. It is a two-terminal device which we identify as anode and cathode. To differentiate between the two terminals, the length of the anode terminal is generally larger compared to a cathode terminal. So the cathode terminal is short, anode terminal is long. This is the identification of what would be anode and what would be cathode. Another identification which is given in terms of physical form is that if the edge of the LED, if you try to see here, is basically circular with one part of it made little flat. So it is not circular at this point. Follow my cursor. Right? This point generally, the terminal which is exactly below this point represents cathode. So there are two identifications which we find in LED to identify anode and cathode. One is in terms of the length of the leads, and another is in terms of the flat spot. LEDs primarily differ from a PN junction diode in terms of the material used in designing LED. Popularly, materials like gallium, phosphorus, and arsenic are used in design of LED. Depending upon the combination and the proportion of the material used in design of LED, LEDs are capable of emitting lights of different colors. When we say different colors, we basically understand that light is an electromagnetic signal which exists in form of a wave, like a sinusoidal wave, which has a specific frequency. And lights of different colors are separate from one another in terms of their frequencies, or what we call it as wavelengths. So using different materials gives out light of different wavelengths or different frequencies, and hence different colors. Say for example, an LED which is made up of gallium arsenide produces red light, whereas an LED made up of gallium phosphide produces green light. This LEDs, there are LEDs that also radiates infrared signal, infrared light, which does not basically fall in the spectrum of visible light. We cannot see. Such LEDs are popular in remote controls. For example, remote control of a television or remote control of an AC. We find use of this type of LEDs. Let us try to understand the working principle of LED. Like a rectifier diode, LED when forward bias it conducts. That is, kindly follow my cursor. If you see this circuit, this is an LED, and this LED is forward bias. You know, the anode is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. We know that when a diode is forward biased, it conducts. That is, electrons primarily move from N region to P region. And we know that electrons in N region are in conduction band, whereas when it enters into P region, it basically recombines with the hole, and in P region, the current flows through holes, through the movement of holes. And where are these holes present? These holes are present in valence band. Thus, when the electrons cross the junction from N-type material to P-type material, it basically changes its energy state from conduction band to valence band. Conduction band is in higher energy level, valence band represents a lower energy level. So electrons primarily move from a higher energy level to a lower energy level. And in this process, it basically radiates the energy out. It gives out energy. In a normal PN junction diode or a rectifier diode, this energy is given out in terms of heat. Whereas in LED, this energy is given in terms of light. And hence, whenever you forward bias an LED and sufficient amount of current is passing through LED, LED basically emits light. The forward bias voltage that drops across LED while conducting depends on the color of LED, and it is generally higher compared to a normal rectifier diode. We find LEDs where the forward voltage drop ranges between 1.5 volts to 3 volts. The intensity of the light emitted by LED, that is what we call it as brightness of LED, depends primarily on the amount of current passing through LED. Typically, a forward bias current to give sufficient amount of brightness ranges from 10 milliamperes to 100 milliamperes. The forward current flowing through LED is controlled by the series resistance Rs, and it is very simple to identify that the forward current would primarily be defined by the relation the source voltage minus the voltage drop, forward voltage drop across LED, so Vs minus Vd divided by the resistance Rs. It is important to understand that LED offers a low breakdown voltage when reverse biased. This is typically around 3 volts with a relatively quite low reverse bias voltage, and hence it should be taken care that accidentally also LEDs are not subjected to reverse bias voltage. Otherwise, there are all chances that LED would get damaged. To prevent this from accidentally happening, many a times a protection circuit is used along with LED. A protection circuit is a simple arrangement of a normal rectifier diode connected in parallel to LED with opposite polarity. What do I mean by opposite polarity? We understand that the LED is connected here such that this is its anode terminal and this is the cathode terminal. Whereas this is a normal rectifier diode, you can identify there are no arrows coming out of this. So this is a normal rectifier diode which is connected with the reverse polarity. That is, cathode is here and anode is here. How does this provide protection? It is simple to understand that LEDs are generally operated in forward bias because its purpose is to emit light. So, say a positive voltage is connected here. When a positive voltage is connected here, this positive voltage makes LED forward bias. And at that time, the rectifier diode is reverse bias, so you can assume that this is out of picture. So in forward bias condition, this rectifier diode is out of picture. However, if accidentally instead of this positive voltages, negative voltages are applied, then diode basically comes in a reverse bias state. Now when diode comes in a reverse bias state, we can understand that this rectifier diode, when LED comes in a reverse bias state, this rectifier diode basically comes in a forward bias state. So it primarily conducts along this path. And when rectifier diode comes in a forward bias state, the voltage drop across the rectifier diode gets limited to the knee voltage, which is 0.7 volts. And hence, even if LED is reverse bias, the voltage drop across LED would not exceed 0.7 volts in reverse bias. And hence, it prevents the LED from getting damaged. Many a times in the market, we also see LEDs which are multicolor LEDs. This becomes possible by putting more than one LED inside a single pack. There are more than one varieties of multicolor LEDs available in the market. For example, you have packages available like this, where you have two LEDs connected in parallel with opposite polarity. Understand that these both are LEDs. One of the LED would conduct when this terminal is made positive and this terminal is made negative. That is, in one case this would be forward bias, at that time this would be reverse bias. And when the polarity of the applied voltage changes, this LED becomes forward biased and this LED becomes reverse biased. So when the current is flowing in this direction, this LED would glow, this may be of one color, and when the current is flowing in this direction, this LED would glow, and this may be different color. So in one pack, you have two LEDs of different colors. One popular variety which is available in the market is called RGB LED. This single pack of LED primarily consists of three different types of LEDs: red, green, and blue. They have a common anode terminal where we are supposed to give positive voltages, and depending upon which LED has to be turned on, the cathode of that LED is connected to ground. If the terminal R is connected to ground, red LED would glow. If terminal Z is connected to ground, green LED would glow. And if terminal B is connected to ground, blue LED would glow. So these are examples of different multicolor LEDs which are also available in the market. Now, having understood LED, let us try to go towards discussion of different types of displays based on LED. And we would start with 7-segment LED display. 7-segment LED display basically is a group of 7 LEDs connected such that it allows the formation of digits 0 to 9. It is also possible to make few alphabets but not all. 7-segment displays are primarily used for numeric display, that is displaying numbers which consist of digits from 0 to 9. The structure of 7-segment LEDs looks something like this. It is in the formation of 8. And A, B, C, D, E, F, and G represents 7 segments. Each segment is formed by one LED. Each segment is formed by one LED, and hence it is called 7-segment LED display. So we can primarily understand that there are 7 LEDs. Depending upon which character has to be formed, a particular LED is turned on. Say for example, to form digit 1, LED which is present at B and C would be turned on, other LEDs would be kept off. In market, 7-segment LEDs which are available has an additional 8 LED to display the decimal point, which is called DP. Even though this package consists of 8 LEDs, this is called in market popularly as 7-segment LED display only. So the 7-segment display consists of 7 segments and one more additional LED for decimal point. Internally, if we try to see, these LEDs are arranged like this. You have segment A LED, segment B LED, C, D, E, F, G, and then you have one more LED for DP. If we try to see how these LEDs are connected little more closely, then we can identify that here the cathode of each LED is connected to one common terminal which is referred here as COM. Try to look at this. If we see LED A, then cathode of LED A is connected to common. If we trace back this cathode, then segment B has also its cathode connected to common. Segment G also has its cathode connected to common. Segment F also has its cathode connected to common. And this common and this common here both are short. So in short, if we try to arrange it in a linear form, then LEDs are connected like this. There are 8 LEDs, 7 for segments, and 1 for decimal point. This all LEDs are connected such that the cathode of each LED is shorted and connected to a common terminal referred to as CON. Such type of 7-segment LED is called common cathode type 7-segment display. Common cathode because cathode is made common. Right? How would this common cathode 7-segment display work? Here, the common terminal is connected to the ground terminal, because we understand that to forward bias an LED, anode terminal should be at a higher potential compared to a cathode terminal. So cathode terminal is connected to ground, and to turn on a particular LED, its anode terminal is given positive voltages. Say for example, plus 5 volts. So say in this case, if plus 5 volt is applied to anode of A, B and C, look at in this diagram, if plus 5 volt is applied to anode of A, B and C, and remaining all anodes are connected to 0 volts, then we can easily anticipate that the character 7 or digit 7 will be displayed. Like we have discussed previously in the previous slide, always a series resistance is used with LED so as to limit its current to a safe value. Right? So this type of arrangement is what we call it as common cathode 7-segment display. There is also one more variety in 7-segment display in terms of arrangement of LEDs, which we call it as common cathode type of 7-segment display. Sorry, common anode type of 7-segment display. The previous display that we had seen was common cathode. This, if you see, is common anode. What is the difference? You can easily identify that anode terminal of each LED is shorted. The cathode is individual. So what would be the working pattern in this? We understand that anode terminal should be at a higher potential compared to a cathode terminal. So the common terminal is generally given the higher voltage, say plus 5 volts. And depending upon which LED has to be turned on, the cathode terminal of that LED is grounded, that is connected to 0 volt. So again, for example, if plus 5 volt is applied to the common terminal and cathode of B, C and A is grounded, then character 7 would again be displayed. So in 7-segment LED displays, we primarily have two varieties. One we call it as common cathode 7-segment display and another is common anode 7-segment display. And the working logic for both the displays would be different. Right? From this, let us move to the next type of next type of LED display, which we call it as 16-segment display. 16-segment display is a natural extension of 7-segment display. The limitation of 7-segment display was that it was possible to only display digits from 0 to 9. However, 16-segment display helps us to display not only the numbers but alphabets as well as few graphic symbols. 16-segment display, as now we can understand, consists of 16 segments where each segment is formed using an individual LED. The popular 16-segment display available in the market looks something like this. 16 segments are formed by adding 4 diagonal segments. You can understand that the basic structure is similar to 7-segment display. To the structure of 7-segment display, more segments are added. Which are the segments? There are 4 diagonal segments, H, J, K and M. There are 2 vertical segments, I and J, and there are 3 original segments of 7-segment displays are splitted in 2 parts, which are A, The segment A becomes A1 and A2. Kindly follow my cursor. Segment G now becomes G1 and G2, and segment D of original 7 segment now gets splitted in D1 and D2. So in total, we have 16 segments, and different characters, numbers, and special symbols which are formed using this 16 segment displays are shown here. We can understand that this device basically requires you to give signal to 16 pins because each LED has to be individually turned on and off. This becomes relatively complex. However, in market we have dedicated character generator circuits which are used for 16 segment displays. These are popularly called as driver circuits for 16 segment displays. So what are these driver circuits? To these driver circuits, we are simply supposed to give a 7-bit ASCII character, and this driver circuit would convert the 7-bit ASCII character into appropriate 16-bit code to be given to 7-segment display. What do I mean by this? We are all aware about what is a 7-bit ASCII code. American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Maybe you would have studied it as a part of basic CPU course. Primarily, all the characters which are seen on a computer keyboard are ASCII characters. And each character, whether you say capital A, small a, any special symbol, digits 0 to 9, all these characters are represented by a standard 7-bit code, which we call it as ASCII code. So capital letter A would have a 7-bit ASCII code which would be different from a small letter a. So to such driver circuits, what we are supposed to give is this 7-bit ASCII code which are standard codes. And this driver circuit would automatically convert the 7-bit code into an appropriate 16-bit code which would help you to display that particular character on a 16-segment LED display. Such type of 16-segment displays are quite popular in devices like car stereo display, calculators, microwave oven, etc. It might happen that you might not have visualized this kind of displays in terms of 16 segment displays, but I am sure now whenever you would try to come across this kind of displays, you would easily identify that these are made up of 16 segment LED displays. Right? Let us try to discuss one more variety of LED based display which we call dot matrix LED display. Dot matrix LED display basically contains LEDs that are aligned in form of matrix. We understand that those 16 segment LED displays can display numbers, that is digits, alphabets as well as special characters. The symmetry of display may not be maintained. It means that some digits may look relatively thicker, some digits may look relatively slim. So the display would not be uniform. The display of characters would not be uniform. In addition to that, the size of 7-segment display and 16-segment display is limited. One character is displayed on one particular element or one particular device of 7-segment or 16-segment, which has a dimension constraint. So what if we want to have a larger size display, which are generally used at public places, say railway stations or bus stations, right? So in this case, dot matrix LED displays are quite popular. As mentioned previously, dot matrix LED displays is a device which contains LEDs arranged in form of a matrix, that is rows and columns. One of the popular dot matrix display, which is 8 cross 8 display, is shown here. 8 cross 8 display primarily means we have 8 rows and we have 8 columns. And in this 8 cross 8 display, how LEDs are connected? This is what the diagram, the internal diagram is shown here. LEDs in a particular row, LEDs in a particular row, the anode of that here it is shorted with argon. And LEDs in a particular column, the cathodes of that are shorted in terms of a column. So we can identify that LEDs are arranged in terms of rows and columns, and each LED in this matrix has a unique identification in terms of its row number and column number. See why matrix arrangement is so popular even in mathematics. Because matrix is basically collection of elements where each element can be uniquely addressed. So here each LED, though we have 8 cross 8, 64 LEDs, each LED can be uniquely addressed in terms of its row and column. Such dot matrix LED displays are made either in row anode and column cathode arrangement as what is shown here, or you can also have an opposite arrangement that rows are connected to, the cathodes are connected to form rows and anodes are connected to form columns, right? Which would be exactly opposite to this arrangement. So there are two popular arrangements which are available. We have row anode column cathode arrangement in a matrix, or we can have a row cathode and common anode arrangement. As each LED has a unique position in terms of rows and columns, each can be individually turned on to form a particular pattern. That is, say for example, we want to turn on this LED which is in second row and first column. So what is required to be done? What is required to be done is that R2 has to be made. Particularly I am talking about this logic where anode is connected to row and cathode is connected to column. So in this case, this row has to be made at positive logic, say plus 5 volts, and cathode of it is supposed to be at logic 0. Then this particular LED would glow. If all the rows except R2, is at 0 volts, only R2 is at say plus 5 volts, and if all the columns except C1, or we can even say that if all the columns are grounded, because R1, R3, R4 and all other columns are 0 volts, the net potential difference between the diode would be 0 and 0, so LED would not turn on. Only R2 which is made positive, so the potential difference between this would be plus 5 volts and 0 volts, and hence this LED would glow. If we talk about this LED, when R2 is made positive, all these anodes are at positive voltages. So if I keep cathode of C2 to C8 at plus 5 volts, then we can understand that none of this LED would glow, because at anode also the voltages are plus 5, at cathode also the voltages are plus 5, so none of the LED would glow, because you need a net potential difference between the two. So again repeating this, that if I want to turn on this LED, what is the way to turn on this LED individually? The way to turn on this LED is make this plus 5, make all other rows to be 0, make this column to be 0, and all other columns to be at plus 5. Right? So the net potential difference between this anode and cathode would be positive, and this LED would glow. Whereas rest of the LEDs would not glow, because in this row all anodes are positive but cathodes are also positive, so net potential difference is right. So this is how the displays are made. Again, one don't basically uh, put more efforts in terms of designing codes for LED, because such dot matrix LED displays are used with the dedicated display drivers, as we had discussed in case of 16 segment LED display, right? So one don't need to worry much about what would be the code to display a particular character. Dedicated display drivers helps you to do this. Different uh, dimension wise, different dot matrix LEDs that are available in the market are 5 cross 7 as an example. This display is basically an 8 cross 8 display. You can have 5 cross 7, 16 cross 8, 128 cross 16, 128 cross 32, and 128 cross 64. So depending upon the size that we need, we have availability of dot matrix display. These displays are quite popular in public places like railway stations. You can find it over the display boards of transport vehicles like bus, etc. So these are different types of LED displays which are popularly used in the market. We close the online session on LEDs and displays based on LEDs here. In the next online session, we would carry forward with discussion on other optoelectronic devices. Thank you for joining.